everyone, today's video is going to be a bit of a chatty one. I feel like normally I call these videos chatty life updates, although there's not really a whole lot to update you guys on, like my life wise, but I thought it'd been a little while since we sat down and just chatted over a few things, so I thought I'd give you guys an update on lockdown, what I'm doing, New Year's resolutions, obviously now that we're out of Jan, and just have a little bit of a chit chat really. It is currently 4 o'clock, so the sun is setting, so if this video gets progressively darker throughout, that is why. I've got myself a coffee like I tend to do with these videos, and I just thought I would have a little bit of a chat. So in terms of, I guess, New Year's resolutions or goal setting and anything like that, I am a huge goal setter / New Year's resolutions person. I am a big fan of fresh starts. I love an excuse for anything like that. At the end of this year, so I guess at the end of 2020, I made sure I did like a deep clean of my flat, which felt amazing. Honestly, I really recommend you guys doing that if you don't do that already. I like to have the mindset like as if I was moving out, what I would do, which might sound a little bit weird, but I think once you live somewhere long enough, there's kind of dirt that you just don't really think about, which sounds really gross. And I always think to myself, oh, how stressful it must be when you're moving house, like the big deep clean that you have to do. So I've just got it in my head that I'm going to do that big deep clean every year, so then by the time I actually do move out of this flat, it's not really that bad because it won't have had years and years and years of living in it, if that makes sense. So at the end of last year I did a big clean and it felt so good. I got myself a huge Chinese takeaway on New Year's Eve and that's how I spent it, and my flat now feels so much nicer. I mean, it really looks no different, but I like emptied out all the cupboards in my kitchen, I cleaned my fridge, I cleaned my oven, I cleaned my washing machine. Honestly, the next day I was really aching and I was like, what on earth have I done? Like I'm sure I didn't do any exercise or anything yesterday, and it was literally from cleaning my oven for a couple of hours that my muscles felt tired. So if that's not a reason to pick up a little bit more exercise in 2021, I don't know what is. But basically, I really like the opportunity to have a fresh start, and I know that you can have a fresh start at any point in the year and you don't need to wait till the Monday, or you don't need to wait till a new month or a new year, etc. But when the chance is there, like, I am a sucker for it. So I kind of went all in with my resolutions this year, or my goals. I treated myself to a couple new planners, which are so pretty. Like, I'm obsessed. I've got a daily planner and a 2021 diary. Do I need both? Probably not. I'm kind of struggling to even fill them out at the moment, but they're really pretty, so that is the main thing. I got these on a site called Papier. Probably not saying that right. I think they do like a referral scheme where you can get £10 off. So I'll leave a link to that in the description in case you guys are interested in these. I mean, not sponsored or anything like that. Anyone that buys from their site can kind of refer someone else, and then I think it gives me £10 off, and then it would also give you guys £10 off. Not that I really need an excuse to buy any more planners at the moment, but treated myself to some new planners, and I've set some like new habits that I wanted to follow. So lots of them are super basic things like taking my vitamins, which I'm so bad at doing. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just so funny about vitamins. I will go like 3 months and I'll take them consistently, and then one day I won't take them, and then I won't take them for another 6 months after that. So I've got an app. The app is just called Habit, and on that you can track various different habits and each day tick off what you do. So I've put my vitamins on there now, and so far I've not missed a day in 2021 yet, so I'm feeling very proud about that. I've also got other basic things on there like drinking enough water, flossing, which is such a boring one, but another one that's like something I never do unless I remind myself. Wearing my retainer at night, again, super exciting. But I put a few basic ones on there and I'm really happy that I've managed to stick to them so far. I also put a couple of things on there that I wanted to try and encourage myself to do more of, but I definitely haven't done them every single day. So I bought a keyboard, I think maybe like October, November time last year, and I put kind of practicing some keyboard on that every day, which I definitely haven't done, but I definitely find that I feel a lot better when I do it, so need to get that into my routine a little bit more. The same as reading a book, that's another one that I track, and I don't do it as much as I should. I found that the evenings that I tick off everything that I want to do and I just get in the bath and I read a book and then I go to bed are like the best evenings ever. So again, something else I'm trying to get into the habit of. I guess the main ones I've introduced this year that I haven't really done so much in the past are walking 10,000 steps, not going on my phone or not going on social media first thing, and also reducing my screen time. Now, I've definitely tried to reduce my screen time in the past. I know that I previously did a New Year's resolutions video 2 years ago, I want to say, at the end of 2019. No, I guess it would be at the end of 2018. I'm pretty sure I filmed it while I was in New Zealand, and I think one of the things I said on that was to reduce my screen time. Now, that definitely hasn't happened over the last couple of years, and I'm very ashamed to admit that on some days my screen time was 18 hours last year. So I feel like I definitely have some work to do, but so far that one's actually going quite well. I've set like the downtime, I think it's called, on the apps, where after 4 hours I get a notification and kind of all my apps turn off, I guess. You can still go on them after, but it makes it a little bit harder. And I've set myself the goal of having less than 5 hours of like social media / entertainment time each day, which still seems huge. I know it still seems like a lot, especially if I'm working between like 9 and half 5 anyway. But I don't really have a TV, so if I'm ever watching something, it's normally on my phone. I don't use my laptop so much for things like Netflix and kind of catch-up TV, and most of the time I watch YouTube and that's on my phone. So that's normally where my screen time comes from. And that day that I did 18 hours was because I'd put on like a 3-hour meditation overnight as well on YouTube, so that definitely didn't help. So I feel like 5 hours for me has been a good starting point, but my aim is throughout the year, I guess every month or so, maybe just slice off 15 minutes of that and see what I can get it down to at the end of the year. I'm trying not to set myself like super unrealistic goals because I just know that I won't stick to them. The social media one, first thing as well, is one of those things that I didn't expect myself to follow. But so far, other than a couple of times where I've done it by accident because it's such a bad habit to be in, I have managed to do it, and I just don't go on those apps until maybe like 10, 11-ish when I've had my cup of tea of the day and I'm kind of more in the swing of things. It's not the first thing I look at now, scrolling Instagram or Twitter and just seeing mostly negative stuff a lot of the time. I don't feel like it's a good way to start my day, so that has been one that I'm really happy I've implemented. The same with the 10,000 steps as well. I never in a million years thought I would do that, but so far I have not missed a day, which I'm so proud of, and 10,000 steps feels so much longer when you're doing them like intentionally. I feel like before, if I met up with friends or something, or we went shopping or whatever, I would do 10,000 steps fairly easily without even realising. But now that I have like one walk a day where I go out with the intention of getting to 10,000 steps, it feels so long. I normally just put a podcast in, or I'll call someone and chat to them for a little while, but it takes me about an hour and 20 minutes, so it's kind of a decent amount of time to be out and about. If the weather's gross, it's pretty miserable, but so far that hasn't stopped me. I will say though, if you guys have any podcast recommendations, definitely let me know, because I've worked my way through the whole of the Off Menu podcast with James Acaster and Ed Gamble, and that's like one of my favourites. I also listened to Giovanna Fletcher's Happy Mum, Happy Baby, even though that is like so unrelated to my life right now, but I just find it really interesting. I've started There's No Such Thing as Fish, I think it's called. That's a new one that I've listened to recently. And then I've also listened to a few of Chris and Rosie Ramsey's podcast, so I've got a bit of a mix, I feel like. But if you guys have any recommendations, definitely let me know, because they are what get me through those 10,000 steps. But I've definitely noticed a big difference when I do it, which I hate, because I feel like last year, or me previously, was so anti people encouraging to go outside and get in a walk or get in some exercise, because I know that it's not that easy, and I feel like it's, yeah, definitely a lot easier said than done. And I wish I had some sort of life-changing piece of advice that I could share with you guys in terms of what made me change and how I'm now doing 10,000 steps, because I feel like people love to share that and be like, oh, you just need to do this one easy thing and then you'll be able to follow your goals and life will be fine. But I have no idea how I've kept up with them so far. I think part of it has just been that I've removed the choice element from it, which I think sounds a bit weird. I kind of see my 10,000 steps as the same as like going to the loo, which again sounds very weird, but like even if I'm in the worst frame of mind, I'm still gonna get out of bed to go to the loo. Like, that's just part of life, you know? So I am trying to view it in that way, where even if it's raining outside, even if I feel like absolute crap, I don't have a choice in the matter. Obviously if I'm unwell or anything like that, I'm not going to be forcing myself to go outside, but that's just kind of been my perspective on it, so I don't know if that's helpful at all, but they have been kind of my New Year's resolutions or my 2021 goals, I guess. Another big one for me is kind of keeping consistent with YouTube and kind of having regular uploads, which so far I'm somewhat managing to stick to. I'm really trying to plan ahead so that I make my own life a little bit easier. But if you guys have any videos that you want to see from me, definitely let me know. I've come up with like a rough plan of videos that I can do each month, so there'll be a few videos that are just regular uploads that every single month I'll probably do a haul, I'll probably do a meal plan, I'll probably do a what I eat in a day, just so I have a handful of videos where I just don't even need to think about them. I already know I'm going to be doing them that month. And then I've also got room to obviously do videos as they come in and when they're relevant. I think these chatty videos as well, I'd quite like to do on like a monthly basis. Not necessarily like chatty life updates, but whether it's like a vlog or a mukbang or anything like that, where I can just sit down and talk a little bit more. Because as much as I love food and I love chatting about food, I also like just chatting in general and finding out more about you guys, and yeah, chatting more about myself, I guess. That sounds very conceited. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, pretty vain, I think it sounds, but I don't mean it in that way. I just think it's nice having at least one video a month where I can check in with you guys and just see what you're all up to as well. I know that vlogs aren't so popular on my channel, which is completely understandable. I have a very boring life, but any sort of opportunity that I get to chat a little bit more, I'll probably slot one video like that in a month, and then the rest will be kind of food budget related, because that is mostly what this channel is about, and that is what I'm most passionate about. Taste tests as well are another one that I'll probably have one in every month, I reckon. I know there's been a few more on my channel recently because of Christmas and Veganuary, but I think going forward, unless there's like a really exciting release, it will probably be like a monthly thing. One, so it gives me the opportunity to try them each month, because I wouldn't want to do taste tests any less frequently than that. But two, I feel like my bank account can't afford weekly taste tests, because vegan food that is released as vegan food is expensive, and for the most part I don't tend to eat those alternatives all that much. So I reckon once a month is going to be a good balance. But that is my plan there. I also am trying to post more consistently on my food Instagram. If you guys are interested in that, I will leave a link to that in the description. But yeah, that's kind of been my life recently and what's been keeping me busy in lockdown, I guess. Obviously, I don't need to go into detail about what's going on at the moment and how it's pretty crappy. And if you're feeling crappy, like, that's completely normal. And I don't want this video to come across like, oh my goodness, be productive in lockdown, set yourself goals, this is the time to do all this stuff, because that's not the case at all. And I went through the first two lockdowns not in that mindset at all, and they were pretty crappy, and this one is still crappy. Even though I'm doing these things are not making it less crappy. So I don't feel like there's really a solution there until it's over, but I'm very much looking forward to having longer days and the sun coming out. Even now, like the fact that it's dark at 4 o'clock and I'm just not here for it. I can't wait for it to be light at like 10 PM and the days to feel so much longer. I actually am currently isolating again for a couple of weeks like I was at Christmas, because I'm going to go back to my mum's for a week or so. She is my support bubble, so it's all completely legal, not breaking any rules, but I just like to be extra careful before I go there so that I can't be carrying anything. So I've not been to the supermarket in a couple of weeks, and that feels a little bit weird for me. I'm also currently on a couple of days annual leave off work, so that's been quite nice, getting into the swing of things, being able to, I guess, plan ahead with YouTube and get all of that kind of organised and stuff for when I'm at my mum's. I don't have to think about it. But I guess that's just a little bit of an update of what I've been up to and my goals, and I don't know if any of you guys would have found this remotely interesting. Let me know if you do want to see more of these chatty videos. Obviously I don't have to do them in the future, so just let me know. Also let me know if you guys have set any kind of New Year's resolutions or goals for 2021. Let me know if you're like me and you're very much like a new year, new me kind of person, or whether you're just kind of taking things a lot more chill this year. I definitely was very cautious not to set myself goals like travel more, see more people, like anything that I couldn't really do inside a lockdown. I didn't really want to set myself the goal of it, because we don't really know what's going to happen this year. But yeah, I guess that's just been a little update on me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.